Welcome to our love broadcast. This is the second in a series of 4 love broadcasts that we're bringing to you for the month of September to support you and the collective in experiencing even more love and really being beacons of love at this time in consciousness when we need it now more than ever. My name is Heather Christian Strang. You can call me Christian. I'm a spiritual guide and a mystic, and I have been guided to create this love broadcast series to support the co-creation of more love on our planet. And today we're going to be talking about 2 pieces because there's a lot going on in the world right now, and we want to make sure we're addressing what's happening. It's September of 2017 when you're hearing this, so there's a lot of trauma drama happening on the planet, so we want to address that. And we'll also be talking about masculine and feminine energy and how the distortion and the imbalance in that energy is really what is at the root of what is out of alignment with the collective. So first, let's talk about what's happening on the planet. We're seeing Mother Earth is doing a lot right now. She's very, very busy, and there's all kinds of theories and ideas and stories and blame coming out of all factions of individuals trying to figure out, what's happening and what we do about it. And we want to present, myself and my connection to higher consciousness would like to present to you another possibility that may expand your understanding of what's happening and also help you show up as more of love during this time and in the times to come. So we want to first start with the fact that Mother Earth is a spirit. So we are living on a planet that is a living, breathing entity that is connected to source, that is responding to all that is and is part of all that is, and is also mirroring back often what is happening within the individual and collective psyche. So we want to look at whenever there are any sort of natural disasters occurring or anything happening with the planet, we always want to look and see how is this a mirror for what might be happening within my individual psyche and what's happening in the greater collective psyche. And then how can I be part of a solution that works with the planet to support her in being in alignment and balance? Well, this is tying into our conversation about the masculine and feminine, right? Because if our planet is out of balance, then that is a direct reflection, of an imbalance within each of us as individuals. And then, of course, as individuals, we make up the collective, right? So Mother Earth is always communicating with us. All of life is always communicating with us. And it is always spiritual communication. So when these types of increased natural disasters are occurring, it is literally spirit communicating with us and giving us guidance and trying to direct us to get back into balance. So yes, efforts to support the planet's health are so very vital. The other thing we want to look at here is what are these disasters causing? What's happening in these disasters? These disasters are literally forcing people to come together, right? Because when your survival's on the line, and this is like the one thing that will pull people out of their egos, right? When their survival is on the line, they've got to come together. They're literally coming out of their homes, having to come together and support each other. Those that are not in affected areas, their hearts are being called and sending money and sending supplies and volunteering and doing everything they can to support other humans. Folks, this is what we're meant to be doing all of the time, taking care of each other. And so Mother Earth is going to do whatever it takes to get us there, right? The time that we're in right now is demanding from us to step into love consciousness, which is unity consciousness, which is oneness, which is peace, which is prosperity, which is all that you and I truly are. So what's happening right now is not an accident. It's not happening by mistake. It's not just happening because so-and-so did this wrong and we did this wrong in the 80s and 70s or whenever. Yes, things have contributed to the destruction of our beautiful planet, and we have to take responsibility for that and bring our lives into balance with Mother Earth. That's a no-brainer. That's a big duh. And we want to look at what's happening and mine for where is source speaking to us. Really look at this. What's happening? People are being forced to come together. No longer can they keep themselves separate in their homes or in their groups or pointing fingers. They literally have to come together. And if you're in an area that's affected, where are you having to go? Where are you being guided to? It's no accident. It's happening because that's exactly what you need to awaken to the next level level of living as love. That is what we're all being called to. Every single thing that happens in your life and in my life is a call to awaken to greater love. Every dis-ease, every natural disaster, every relationship, every financial opportunity, every bit of work, it is all happening to awaken you to a greater state of love. And so when we're talking about bringing things into balance, we've got to look at what is the root imbalance that has created a planet that has had a general collective tipping point that has not been one of love. It's actually been one of survival consciousness and, dog eat dog and, get yours and make sure you take care of number one. That whole survival reptilian brain way of being had been the predominant consciousness for a very long time for humanity. And now we're at this time where a spiritual consciousness, we're getting to that tipping point and we have tipped it ever so slightly. And so Mother Earth is doing everything she can to bring that into greater alignment, to bring even more of those who are not there yet into a love consciousness. And Spirit will use anything it will take to get us there. Any sort of dis-ease, any sort of quote unquote thing going wrong to get us back to love. Because it is in those moments when people are on their knees that they remember. Because they're stripped. They're stripped of everything else. I mean, it's the same thing that happened to me. I got stripped of everything. And in those moments of being totally stripped, I remembered. And so that is what we're being asked to do as well. So let's talk about this masculine and feminine imbalance. It's really at the root of a lot of the trauma drama that is happening in terms of our governments, in terms of wars, in terms of disagreements on the greater whole. Even when we're talking about, the divorce rates and breakups and companies crashing and all of that, what is the imbalance? And the imbalance at the root is an imbalance in the masculine and feminine energy because there's a misunderstanding of the value and importance of these energies. And there is a lack of education about how to work with these energies first within oneself and then within the context of a relationship and then organization, government, etc. So we're going to talk to you, give you a brief overview of masculine and feminine energy and what it really is and how it's meant to work. And we're going to start by talking about it within yourself because every being has masculine and feminine energy. Now, why? This masculine and feminine energy provides what? It provides balance. It provides a flow. It allows things to be done in a way that brings wholeness and completeness to whatever it is that's being carried out. So feminine energy is receiving receptive energy, and feminine energy is spiritual energy. It receives spirit, it receives source, it's intuitive, it's tuned into the emotional state, it's tuned into the needs of others. It is a free-flowing, watery, emotional, spiritual energy. This is very important for all beings to have, right? And all beings do have feminine energy. Masculine energy. Masculine energy is the energy that gets shit done. It takes action. It can take complex topics and sequences and create strategies and whatever is needed to bring the feminine vision, the feminine intuitive, emotional, spiritual vision into life. Masculine energy takes action. It stands fiercely for what it believes in. It has the ability to be grounded and rooted so that things can manifest into physical format. Now, what's happened over time is that we have not taken care to develop both of these energies within ourselves in a healthy, strengthened, aligned manner. And so distortions occur. And when distortions occur, imbalance occurs. And when imbalance occurs, we have manifestations that are all sorts of wonky, like people fighting each other in wars for centuries, doing the same thing over and over again, and acting like, that's weird that the same things keep happening again and again. Well, guess what? When you're imbalanced and you're only using one energy, you're not going to get anywhere. You're just going to keep doing the same things over and over and over again. So again, it can be easier to see this in a broader perspective. So we want to bring it into you. We want to give you specific guidance that you can utilize in your life so that you can create a more love-filled life, because what we need and what makes up the collective are individuals. And so we need as many individuals as possible who are balanced and who are leading for love and leading with love and taking action for love. Not in word, in deed. We need actual actions happening. And that takes a balance of masculine and feminine energy. So check out your own life right now. Where seems to be where the hiccups show up for you? Is it in taking action? Do you struggle with bringing your creative ideas into form? Do you struggle bringing any actions into form? Maybe you get all worked up about what's happening in the state of the world and you're like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but then it never quite seems to happen. Is that where the hiccups seem to occur for you? You have this vision for a love relationship, or you have this vision for a business, or you have this vision for humanitarian efforts, or maybe all of the above, but they never quite seem to happen? What's going on there? We've got an imbalance in the masculine energy. This is often going to be linked to your ancestral line. So you've got an imbalance in masculine energy in your ancestral line. You may be here to help evolve forward what your father couldn't. So this is something to look at. So just kind of check that out within yourself. Or is perhaps your imbalance that you do too much, you go too hard, you burn yourself out, you're taking action all day long, but it's like you're not getting anywhere. You have all of these ideas that come in, but then when you go to work to implement them, nothing really goes anywhere. Have you noticed that you burn yourself out, that you take a lot of action, but then you get injured, or you take a lot of action and then, weird things happen, and it just seems like nothing ever quite comes together, or it comes together and then over time you burn out and it explodes or implodes or whatever it might be. That's going to let you know you have an imbalance of feminine energy. So without that ability to sit in silence and access your creative vision, and not just any level or dimension of creative vision, but the highest aligned level of creative vision, you've got to be spending time nurturing your feminine energy. You've got to be working with your emotional states, because otherwise it's going to create all kinds of wonky results in your life, because it's unprocessed emotions that need to be felt and handled and nurtured. Handled is too strong of a word. Nurtured and loved so that they can be transmuted and you can actually be effective in your action. If you have an imbalance in your feminine energy, you want to look at your reproductive system. So that's going to be an area where you may have issues coming up or things coming up that seem to be off for you. You want to also look at your family line and look at the feminine family line, the maternal family line. What's happening there? You may be evolving forward pieces for that ancestry that was not able to be evolved before. So when you start with yourself, then you've got leverage to actually be of service to the greater whole. This is what my dream is, my vision is that as more and more beings awaken from life, forcing them to awaken, from life, spirit, source doing its thing, that more and more individuals will take full personal responsibility for their empowered and joyous and beautiful life. And then also realize that they have a responsibility, because what happens when you get empowered is you realize, oh my God, I have a responsibility to other beings, to be of service, to be in kindness, to be in love. And so this masculine and feminine piece is so critical, and there's all different ways to talk about it, and there's all different ways to look at it. But what I wanted to do today, my connection with higher consciousness and I wanted to do today, was to really support you in getting some grounded, simplistic, but clear guidance about how you can bring balance to your masculine and feminine. So I would encourage you, as you've tuned in to see where is my imbalance, where is my balance, to look at a healer, a practitioner, a specific practice that you can start to do to help heal wherever that imbalance is within you. Now, often these imbalances will show up in our relationships, our intimate relationships, to mirror back to us what we might not be able to see about ourselves. Really, all of life, again, is mirroring back to us what we need to see that we haven't been able to see before. So allow yourself to be open to seeing these things so clearly, because when you see it clearly, then true change can occur. We're living at a time where the masculine energy specifically is desiring a massive upgrade to how it expresses in the world. We've seen plenty, eons of imbalanced masculine energy running the show, right? What does imbalanced masculine energy look like? We've got people starting wars, people killing each other over and over again, hurting each other again and again, which shows a fundamental disconnect from their feminine energy, because when you're tuned into your feminine energy, you know it doesn't matter if I kill you or we have a war or I hurt you, because guess what? I'm going to have to fucking come back, and then you're going to have the opportunity to kill me and go to war with me, because karma always requires a balance. Always. What you create in this lifetime will have to be balanced out every time, no exception. So nobody's getting away with anything, right? Like, oh, I'm going to get rid of you and then my life will be great, or I'm going to hurt you and then my life will be great. No, that's not actually how it works. You're just going to come back and have the opportunity to do it all over again. So how about we just heal it right now? How about we take a look at this imbalanced masculine energy that says it's survival based? Now, this is very reptilian masculine, right? So this is what we might call third dimensional, physical only, survival consciousness masculine energy, is what has created most of the havoc that we've seen played out on a governmental scale and a larger scale again and again and again. And so what that needs is the balance of the feminine. And these men and women who are out of balance in their masculine energy coming back into balance with their feminine, intuitive, spiritual, emotional energy. And when you're connected to that, all you can do is love. When you're connected to that, you never, ever do anything but want to create more goodness, more love, more alignment. You would understand the death, quote unquote, death process. You would understand how this life unfolding actually works. And so there is a time, we are in a time now where these sacred masculine codes are being integrated and downloaded into those souls who are willing to receive them. I just had a soul alignment event with one of my clients yesterday, actually, where we were updating his masculine codes and supporting him because he was in conflict with that old masculine archetype. Of course, nobody wants to sign up for that if they're conscious. Right? So he needed support in upgrading to these higher masculine, sacred masculine codes. And this is needed for all beings, no matter what gender you are. We need to bring our masculine into a balanced perspective. We need our feminine in a balanced perspective. And then we are whole. Then we can lead from this lifetime in a way that really creates more love, more goodness, more joy, more peace, more prosperity. Now, this isn't about perfection. Nobody's talking about perfection here. There's always going to be room to grow and places that we can expand into and more love that we can bring into every cell of our body. But we have to have this as a foundational baseline of what it means to be in a body. And we've just gotten so out of balance. And again, we see that playing out in the individual and collective unfoldings. So I want to invite you to really check in with yourself. And whenever you're having struggle in your life or you're coming up against challenges, to really tune in and say, where's my masculine energy? Where's my feminine energy? What's in balance? What's not in balance? How can I bring this into balance? Ask Spirit to guide you to a practitioner or a support person that can really help you in bringing this back into balance. Because here's the thing. It can be really hard to see our blind spots. It can be we may be having the same experiences over and over again and hitting our head against the wall and saying, why does this keep happening? I mean, that's what's happening on the collective level, right? We're just doing the same shit over and over again. And we're like, why does this keep happening? Because the imbalances have not been addressed at their root and they have not been healed. And we don't get to do that on our own. We need each other for that. We need support. We need community. We need light workers to really support this. Light workers need light workers. Like my mentors have mentors and their mentors have mentors. We all need each other and we're all here and in this together. And we chose to come here at this time because we wanted to receive these sacred masculine codes that are being updated within the cells of those who are willing to receive them. We wanted to have a balance in our masculine and feminine to heal our ancestral lines, to heal what we couldn't heal in previous lifetimes, and to show up in this lifetime to have an experience that we've never had before and to live on a planet unlike any planet we've lived on before, free of the discord and strife and struggle, and just embraced and embodied in love, peace, and prosperity. We promise you, this is not just some silly dream. This is absolutely possible, but it takes you and me and more and more and more and more and more of us willing to be fierce about love, peace, and prosperity the way that the distorted masculine has been fierce about survival. If you resonated with what we shared here today and you'd like more of this and you'd like community and you'd like to spend more time with me, I invite you to check out the link in the comments below to join us for Love Mastery 2017. It begins on September 29th of 2017 and is an 11-week journey where we will literally be attuning and supporting you and being a love activist, a beacon for love, to be the love that you came here to be balanced in your masculine and feminine, to support your spiritual partnerships and romantic relationships, to allow you to be free of fear, and to allow you to receive prosperity and abundance by being exactly who you are and receiving cash money for exactly that. This is always how we were meant to live, and I invite you to join me on this journey because you're ready for it, because we're ready for it, because if not now, when? I love you so much. Thank you so much for listening. Please leave comments below, like this audio, and share it with all those that you feel would benefit from it. Let's continue to spread the love. So much love to you.